Good day, viewers. I'm happy to have you once again. It's a nice time to be with you once more. I want to believe that you have your materials with you, your writing materials. If you don't have, please ensure you get it close to you. Take your pen and paper, possibly other writing materials you may need, just to make sure that you put something down during the course of this video. Thank you very much. Today we are looking into a topic titled middlemen in the chain of distribution. All right, so middlemen is a major center. All right, and so we're going to look at it in a little bit detail as concerned with this video of today. So please take note as we move. In today's lesson, we are going to concentrate around this area of specifics. Now, by the end of this lesson or video, you should be able to define middlemen, then mention some important reasons why they survive and why their elimination is possible, and then state reasons why the elimination of middlemen. Okay, yes. Then types of wholesalers, which is an example of middleman. Then merchant wholesalers, functions and their types. Explain agent middleman types. They're brokers, manufacturers, and so on. All right. So these are the things we're going to look at today. All right. So we'll look at the types of middlemen. We'll look at the two types: merchant and agent. So yes, let's go. So who is a middleman? In simple term, a middleman is a person in between. All right. So yeah, this is people or businessmen who act or participate in between the producer and the consumer to ensure that trade happens, right? So middlemen are those wholesalers and retailers who specialize in performing activities relating to the purchase and the sales of goods in the process of their flow from producer to final user or buyer. So they act to enhance and ensure production takes place. The wholesaler gets from the manufacturer, sells to the retailer, and the retailer sells to who? The final consumer. So they act in the middle between the producer and the consumer. So they're called middlemen. So whatever they do in between that two ends is a lot of business, all right? Yes. So these people have been able to survive because of these reasons we can see here. If they were not so important in this chain of distribution or production process, they would have been eliminated a long time ago. So middlemen are destined to survive because of this function that they perform. They bridge the gap between the producer and the consumer. So bridging the gap is one thing they do, because in this case, we know that the middleman is involved a wholesaler who is responsible for obtaining goods in bulk from the producer and breaking it down into smaller quantities, and then sells to the retailer, who in turn produces furthermore to units, right? And then sell to the final consumer. This is what they do. So the producer is most likely to not to sell to the final consumer because of what? They won't buy enough to ensure his continuous productivity or production. Every consumer that buys a particular thing cannot actually go to the factory to buy. So they need middlemen or intermediaries to make sure that this thing goes far and wide to get to every other potential consumer. So they bridge the gap. The bulk breaking, of course, I've mentioned it earlier. The job of the manufacturer or the wholesaler is to break a bulk, right? Reduce it from huge quantity to smaller quantities before it can be sold to the retailer and he then turns it to the consumer. Then risk bearing, of course. These people take a lot of risk. The middlemen, some of them, in fact, if not all, right, have so many risks to bear, all right? Because sometimes they buy these goods and eventually things change and the consumer refuses to buy from them. So they are stuck, right? These goods may overstay in their hands and become expired. Some may become damaged, right? The risk of damage during transfer or transportation, you can see sometimes you see people's truck falling on the road, the goods falling and scattering, and people coming to steal them, right? Yes, those are one of the risks. They bear a lot of risks, okay? Some of them are also will have to they lose prices as well. They lose profit because when the price falls suddenly for what they sell, they cannot longer make profit. So they have a lot of risk to bear. In several ways of business hazards, they face it more than the producer. So they have a lot of business hazards, which are risks that they face, and that makes it what one of the ways, all right? So these things, you see, they have been able to find a way to mitigate these risks that they bear by what? By continuously supplying these goods, making sure that they remain in business. So this continuity has given them the fortitude to, to stay strong and continue business. So risk bearing is one of the things. So some of these risks don't happen, of course, because they are potential risks. But when they survive this risk, what happens? They move on. So they become stronger. So yes, these risks are possible. They bear this risk sometimes. Most times, not sometimes, they come out unscattered. So yes, that's why they survive, all right? Financing, of course, they also provide financial services to both the manufacturer and the consumer, all right? Yes, of course. Why is it so? Why is it possible? Many times, some producers will require upfront payment from wholesalers, of which they do, all right? So they sometimes finance production ahead of time, giving the producer much money to go and produce to their demand, all right? So yes, that's one of the ways. Again, even the retailers, some wholesalers, of course, provide credit sales to consumers or even to the retailer. So this also is another way of financing the business of the retailer as well as the consumers from the retailers as well. So retailers can finance the consumers by giving them credits, all right, buying, giving them goods without them having to pay immediately. So these are the things that resembles or that means financing, all right? So these are the things they do. When they do this consistently, they make profit from it as well, all right? They make profit from it, but as well, they are actually making business to be smoother. They make life easier, right? So in this case, they are actually trying to make life better. And this is why they also want to survive. They store and transport. That is, they provide storage facilities and they also provide transportation. So the middleman helps the manufacturer to produce more by storing out that which has been produced in the warehouse of the consumer of the producer. So when these middlemen, especially the wholesalers, come to buy in bulk, they kind of empty out or reduce the overflow of output produced in the warehouse of the producer, and then again, the retailers come to buy again from the wholesaler and they reduce more. So it further goes down, and this particular activity helps to keep the production going. All right, so this is why they also will survive, because they are part of the oil of the wheel of progress in trade. So without them, there's a lot of issues. So they survive because they are very important in the chain of distribution and production process. Okay, then the market information, of course, they are the ones who gather the most important information from the consumers before the producer can be aware of what exactly the consumers are saying about their products. These are the ones that they are food soldiers who will get information from the consumers and then submit it to the manufacturer, who makes decisions as to how to better the products for the consumers to consume or to buy. Marketing and promotion, all right? These are the people who, for one reason or the other, help reduce costs of advertisement for the manufacturer. And that's how they will survive too, because the manufacturer will always need them to survive. So they make goods known and available to consumers and help consumers to understand how best to use these products. And because of this, the manufacturer will always depend on the middlemen to survive in most cases. So they help in advertising, they help in creating demand, and they help in educating consumers about the product. So with all this done by middlemen, they are bound to survive, right? So these are the things that keeps them going, no matter what has happened, may happen in between, all right? Yes, if you ask, please be able to tell them, yes, this is why they can survive. Now, reasons why they may be eliminated, all right? Why would the middlemen be eliminated? Why? Some producers have warehouses, so that whatever the middlemen can do with warehousing may not be a problem for them. So yes, they might not really need them in that case. Of course, big-time manufacturers, huge manufacturers of some common and popular goods, right, will definitely have their warehouses and they can decide to distribute from there if possible. Yes, development of mail order businesses. When you can sit down in your house and make orders on phone, on a laptop, all right, on any electronic device that are connected to the internet, all right, or any electronic device through which you can make orders for your goods and it's delivered to you in your house, then you don't need middlemen anymore, right? So the seller can sell to you directly, all right, as a retailer. The producer can sell to you directly as a retailer, sorry, as a consumer. And that means you don't really need the middleman in this case. So under this condition, they can be eliminated, all right? Then small scale production. Some producers don't really produce in mass, so they don't need warehousing as well, and they don't need somebody to help them sell, so they can go out to sell for themselves to the final consumer. So in this case, middlemen are also very important as well. Then involvement of expensive goods. You know, when you talk about channel of distribution, all right, when goods are expensive, it means that involving middlemen will actually increase the price further, all right? Because every middleman makes a cut out of the price as profit. So they will need to add something extra to be rewarded for the activities that they provide, right? So yes, expensive goods involves the manufacturer wanting to sell directly to the consumer. So in this case, the middlemen are not very important as well. Perishable goods, of course, these goods don't take time before they get bad or before they get expired. In this case, the manufacturer wants to sell most directly to the consumers and not involve middlemen who may in turn delay or make the good get bad, and so before, you know, it's no longer profitable for him to produce because they won't want to come back and buy. So yes, perishable goods are also sold directly to us, are advisable to sell directly to consumers, and in that case, they don't need middlemen to come in as well. Then packaging and branding done by manufacturers. Of course, we know that majority of the middlemen are involved in packaging and branding in some cases, all right, for some goods, right? So in this case, when a manufacturer takes over this job and can do it, of course, they can do it by themselves, all right, and start doing it, of course, it also means that the middlemen will not longer be needed in this case, okay, so they can be eliminated under this condition, right? Longer channel of distribution, delays in delivery, of course, may be a reason why they also need to be eliminated, right? When you have a longer chain from manufacturer to manufacturer's depot, and then manufacturer depots to an agent, and an agent to a wholesaler, wholesaler to retailer, retailer to maybe another retailer, of course, in this case, it's a longer chain, and you know, the price will definitely go higher. So when there's a delay in distributing this good because of longer chain of distribution, you may have to cut it short. So manufacturer will decide to do what? To eliminate this middlemen and make sure that the goods get delivered faster to enhance faster production as well, or increase production. They create artificial scarcity. These middlemen can also cause artificial scarcity, whereby the manufacturer doesn't know the areas that demand more of his goods. They can decide to make it scarce and increase the price. For whatever reason they want to do that, they may actually create artificial scarcity, and that will affect productivity or production for the manufacturer. So in this case, consumers will be scampering for the available ones, and that's not good for the system. And so for this reason, if the manufacturer decides to take this as a reason, all right, to cut off the middlemen, of course, it has a right to do that and a reason to do that as well. So for this particular reason, they may also be eliminated from the channel of distribution, right? So let's see another thing here. Extension of the reasons why they may be eliminated, right? Fluctuations of price, of course, because of what they do, all right? When they go ahead with artificial scarcity, all right, that can also make prices rise, because that's what it will bring, of course. Price will constantly be running up and down, and then producers and maybe consumers can no longer be able to forecast how they spend their money, so they just spend at random. This again might actually cause their elimination, all right? So increase in price, they add for the final price of goods due to the profit margin. Every middleman, like I said earlier on, we want to make profit from getting involved in distribution of goods and services to the final consumer. So that extra margin they add to the costs of what they have purchased the goods to make their own profit is called increase in price, and this may be a reason why they also need to go, all right? So exploitation is another reason. They may exploit both the producer by doing what? Ensuring the producer sells at a lower price than it's supposed to be, and then again, exploit the consumers by doing what? By selling at a higher price as well. So they can actually do this effortlessly. They know how to make it happen. So this could be a reason why they should actually what? Go or be eliminated. Then reduce profit for producers. By this involvement of the middlemen, for the price to be affordable in the market, all right, the producer will have to lower their profit margin as well, okay? For them to be able to sell to these middlemen who will eventually sell to the final consumers, they may have to reduce their own profit margin so that they can sell to the middlemen who in turn sell to the final consumers. So their involvement causes what? A reduction in the profit of the producers, all right? Yes. This is the reason why they should also what? Go, or they may actually be eliminated as well. Then distorted market information. The feedbacks may be delayed or altered as it passes through the middlemen. Some of them may not actually be knowledgeable enough or wise enough, all right, to be able to relay the information they have received from consumers to the manufacturer accurately, all right? They may decide to deliver it the way they feel the consumer is talking, not exactly what the consumer has said, all right? So they relay information that may be negative or contrary to what the consumer has said that he or she or they want from the product. So that's it. Another one is that it may be delayed before it will get to the producer. Time has already passed. So this can also cause a problem for the distribution channel. So in this case, they may also need to be what? To be eliminated, all right? Then duplication of roles. Some of the functions of the manufacturers can be performed by the producer as well. So if they decide to take over these functions, of course, their job is done, all right? So if the manufacturer sees a reason to take over the job of the middleman by taking care of delivery and marketing and also what? Creating demand for themselves, of course, in this case, the middleman has also been what? Eliminated. The producers have limited control. They may come to have limited control in terms of what? Producers may lose control over pricing, promotion activities, and customer relationship, all right? Some middlemen become so popular, so influential, all right, to the extent that they may decide to, overthrow the place of the manufacturer, all right? So in this case, manufacturers may lose control, and if you want to get back that control, it means that what? The middlemen will also be what? Eliminated, all right? That's what it is, okay? So that's an example of why they may be eliminated. We have wholesalers as one of the middlemen, all right? And we have two types of wholesalers, which is namely merchant wholesaler and agent wholesaler, all right? You can call it agent middleman, all right? So these are the two major types of wholesaler that we have. Now, who is a merchant wholesaler? A merchant wholesaler buys and resells goods on his own account, taking title to the product they handle and convey the title directly to those they deal with. No, they bear the risk associated with storage and distribution and sales. So these people are taking responsibility of the title of the goods. So they become the owners, all right, of the product that they sell. And they confer same title to the buyers as far as business is done, okay, with the buyers. So yes, that's who, as the merchant wholesalers. These ones bear the risks associated with storage, distribution, and sales. Okay. What are the functions of these people, of merchant wholesalers? They arrange credit terms, all right? They actually own the goods, all right? So they can decide to sell on credits or maybe what we call trade credits, okay? So they arrange the credit terms for buyers who are willing to take into advantage credit facilities available for them. They undertake the storage. They are the ones that have the warehouses to store bulky number of amount of goods that they have purchased from the manufacturer. So they can actually have warehouses or storage facilities that they can use to store. So they provide storage facilities in the chain of distribution. So that's what they do. Then they provide promotional services. Some of them will actually carry promos without the consent of the manufacturer, without even seeking for the manufacturer's assistance, all right? Because they want to sell, all right? So they can actually promote sales, right, by giving some incentives, all right? What's it called now? Loyalty card, right? Customer loyalty card, all right? They can buy a particular quantity for a particular amount, all right? So you can just say buy 6 for the price of 5. Such things can be done by the merchant wholesalers, all right? So they can actually provide after-sales services, okay? They can do that, of course. They can provide after-sales for some goods that they engage in selling. Yes, they provide delivery services. They can actually package goods and deliver to the residents of their customers. Right? That is one of the things that they do as functions. A merchant wholesaler can do this without a problem because they know they are making the money. So with these extra services provided, they can even sell more. So these are one of the functions. They also provide advisory services to both the manufacturer and the buyers as well. They can actually advise the manufacturer on the best way to handle production that consumers are expected to have. As well, they can actually advise the consumers as well, right, that's the best way to enjoy what they are buying or the best way to approach their purchase and their demand, of course. So these are one of the things that they do. So the merchant wholesaler has these and many other functions, but we're going to address only these 5 for now. So how many types of wholesalers, merchant wholesalers do we have? We have 6 types of merchant wholesalers. Number 1, we have specialist wholesalers, rack jobbers, cash and carry wholesalers, truck wholesalers, general wholesalers, wholesale cooperative societies are examples of merchant wholesalers. Wonderful. All right. We have very good information here, right? So please take note of this information. Specialist wholesaler, all are examples of merchant wholesalers, all right? Take note. Then we have rack jobbers, we have cash and carry wholesalers, we have truck wholesalers, that is, in this case, merchant. I have general wholesalers or have wholesale cooperative society. Now, let's look at them one at a time to get a little more information about them. Now, who are they? A specialist wholesaler focuses on specific product like electronics or pharmaceuticals, all right? Those people who engage in selling wholesales of a particular product or product line, all right, are known as what? Specialist wholesalers. Example, a wholesaler that only sells medical equipment to hospitals. That's a specialist what? Merchant wholesaler, right? Who sells medical equipment to hospitals, all right? Then rack jobbers, they stock and manage shelves in retail stores. They have shelves in retail stores, often in non-food sections. Example, a supplier who stocks greeting cards in supermarkets. If you go to supermarkets, all right, you have a particular shelf area where the product of that manufacturer is, particular manufacturer is stocked, right? So in such a case, you have what? A rack jobber, merchant wholesaler, all right? So example is a supplier of who stock greeting cards in a supermarket shelf, all right? You have cash and carry wholesaler. This one sells in bulk to buyers who pay cash and transport goods themselves, all right? These are people, wholesalers, who can actually arrange transport services to deliver goods to their customers, all right? Examples, a restaurant owner buying kitchen supplies from a wholesaler, all right? A restaurant owner buying kitchen supplies from what? From a warehouse. That can be a very good example of what? Cash and carry wholesaler. Cash and carry wholesalers sell in bulk to buyers who buy and pay cash and transport goods themselves, all right? That's for cash and carry merchant wholesaler. Okay, truck wholesalers are another type of merchant wholesalers. These ones deliver and sell goods directly from their trucks to local retailers. Examples include a wholesaler selling fruits to small grocery stores from a truck. Yes, they buy these products in bulk and transport it along the delivery chain to their respective retailers. So they sell from their truck directly to the retailers who buy from them. That's exactly what we mean by general truck merchant wholesalers, all right? Then general merchant wholesalers involve the wholesalers who offer a broad range of goods to retailers. A broad range, you have a variety of goods to retailers. Example is a wholesaler that supplies food, cleaning products, and toiletries, etc., all right? Not limited to that. The wholesalers sell variety of goods to retailers. So this is an example of what? General merchant wholesaler, all right? Then wholesale cooperative society, of course, this is more common to an understanding or knowledge. These retailers, the retailers pool resources to buy in bulk and cooperate as a wholesale business together. Example, small grocery stores forming a co-op to reduce purchase costs, all right? So when you have this kind of exercise carried out, you can talk about them as what? Wholesale, merchant wholesale cooperative societies, all right? So because they buy in bulk, although there are several persons who have come together to form a unit. So you can actually call them merchant wholesale retail cooperative societies, all right? Okay. So these are the things, these are the types of wholesalers we have in merchant wholesalers trade. Agent middlemen, right? Agent middlemen also are close to what? Merchant wholesalers. But this case, an agent middlemen are people who help sellers and buyers make deals without owning the goods themselves. Remember, the one we mentioned earlier on, merchant wholesalers, they take title to goods. But these people don't take title to goods, all right? The merchant wholesalers own the goods to themselves, all right? They own title of ownership to the goods. But these are people who make preparation, who make arrangements between two parties, all right? Who take arrangement, who help buyers and sellers make deals without being the one owning the goods themselves. They connect both parties and earn a fee or a commission for their services. Now, they are mostly engaged in wholesaling rather than retailing, okay? These ones are agent middlemen, all right? So we have many of them. Examples of these people can be stockbrokers, all right? Forex traders, and so on, all right? So yes, these are examples of agent middlemen, stockbrokers mostly, okay? So let's see them as the best example of what agent middlemen in this case. Now, we have types of agent middlemen. We have brokers, like I mentioned earlier on. Brokers, they are these people that they look for stock, those who own stock to sell and those who want to buy stock, all right? And they connect them together and they create a deal for them, all right? So that's an example of a stock agent, agent middleman, a stockbroker. Number two is a manufacturer's agent, okay? When you have what we call warehouses, all right, depots, all right? You have depots of various companies. So yes, we have talked about the meaning of agent middlemen, and I said one of the examples are brokers. Stockbrokers are one of the examples of agent middlemen. So yes, for that, we have them as those who broker a deal between the owners of stock and those who want to buy stock. So with that, they are paid a commission, all right? So that's an example of what? Agent middlemen. Then manufacturers also have depots where they have representatives there for them who actually act on their behalf to ensure that sales take place. So these people also are the eyes of the manufacturers in the marketplace. So you get to the manufacturer through them. So without them, you may hardly get access to buy from the manufacturer. So these are people who also act as what? Middlemen for the transaction of business to take place. Now we have auctioneers. These are people who are actually given authority to sell on behalf of the owners by auctioning goods, by selling to the highest bidder. So these people have the right to sell at a reasonable price for the owner of the goods. So they are actually what? Another form of middlemen, all right? So yes, that's an example of what? Agent middlemen. They'll have commission agents. Employees, all right, of an insurance company can be seen as an example of a commission agent because they pay them commission for every client they bring. Okay, so of course there are other examples of that, but here we have a very good example as a commission agent who works on behalf of a company, who also receives commission for every act of business they carry out on behalf of the company. So then, an example of another factor, these are people who also trade in the stock market, all right? But none of these have ownership of the goods, all right? They only act in between the principal and the customer. So these are what? Agent middlemen as well. Del-credere agents are the ones who are giving, who guarantees payment if the customer fails to pay. So they take responsibility on behalf of the customer to their principal. So these are another form of what? Agent middlemen that we have. So these people are actually dealing with brokerage. They actually the broker deal between the principal and the customer, all right, or on the third party. So yes, this is the name you use. So thank you very much. I know that with this you understand more about what we call agent middlemen. So I've actually tried to break it down, right? So I think I've done that. So let me just run through this once. You can see I've already make it easier. So for example here, those are people who buy and sell help buyers and sellers to find each other and make deals, but they don't own the goods, all right? Real estate agents are the ones, one of the examples of this. Stockbrokers are one of them, but real estate agents are also another example for brokers, okay? Now we have commission agents who sell goods on behalf of their owners and earn a commission on sales. Agents selling farm produce at the market for farmers is a good example for this, all right? And I've also mentioned it earlier on, but it's another one. The auctioneer sells on the highest bidder to the public, all right? An auctioneer selling used cars to the highest bidder is an example of that. Then we have factor who sells goods on their own name, hold goods in stock, and may give credit to buyers. Example, a factor selling textile from a warehouse and allowing payment later. Of course, they can do this, but those goods don't belong to them, all right? They don't have title to the goods. They can actually stand in place of the owner, but can sell and doesn't have title to the owner of the goods, all right? So a del-credere agent, a special kind of agent who sells goods for the owner and promises to pay if the buyer doesn't pay, all right? They also help find buyers and complete sales. These are what they do, right? Example, agents who sell goods of a manufacturer and guarantees payment even if the buyer doesn't pay. Whether it is good, whether it is stock or whatever, but these people are people who can guarantee that the buyer must pay or will pay. If not, they will pay on the behalf of the buyer. So yes, these are the things we should actually know. We have had very nice information about middlemen today, especially the wholesalers middlemen, right? So I thank you because I know that with this, you have actually learned much about middlemen. So let's see if we can take one or two questions to wrap up this bit of our studies. Let's go. Okay, so here, you said the box marked Y stands for what? Y is here. You know, commerce is divided into what? Trade and aids to trade. So yes, Y in this case is aid to trade, and U is what? Trade. You just reversed it, okay? Because you can see that this Y is one that carries these other ones that is aid to trade. So Y is what? Is aid to trade. Direct sales to consumers by manufacturers is a means of eliminating who? Middlemen. You already know that. Okay, one of the qualities of tradable goods is divisibility. Okay, though that's not part of what we studied. The completion of the production process by grading and branding of goods is a function of who? It's a function of the wholesaler. Okay. Then which of the following function of the wholesaler helps to stabilize price? It's warehousing, okay? Because they stock a lot and then sell it in a long period of time. A del-credere commission is an allowance, it's an extra allowance paid by guaranteeing recovery of debts, okay? Yes. Okay. Who among the following is a middleman? An agent, okay? Yes. Which of the following is the best channel for the sale of an aircraft? That's expensive good, producer to consumer, all right? Thank you. So with this, I'm sure that we have enough questions to test what we've learned. So please go ahead and study more using our study guide, okay? It will help you earn more knowledge and help yourself better. Thank you. See you in our next class.